guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April Lee and I am the Tipsy Housewife. I have a recipe blog over at thetipsyhousewife.org. I'm on Instagram as the Tipsy Housewife and I'm on Facebook at TipsyWife. My blog recipes could be best described as like simple, easy, affordable things, and lately I've been on a snack kick. So today I am going to walk you through one of my most favorite recipes. I love to serve this when Mr. Tipsy's watching football or we just want to have appetizers for dinner. This is a super kid-friendly meal. You could basically serve it anytime, but I think it's going to be perfect for next week's Super Bowl. And I think it's a perfect Super Bowl dish. I'm going to make half of the recipe right now because it's just me and Mr. Tipsy today. But if you want to make this version for a party, the recipe that's going to be on my blog that I'll link in the description below is going to be a full recipe that makes 12 little sliders. So the recipe that we're making are mini Big Mac sandwiches. I'm going to show you guys everything you need to make it. It's super easy, it's super fast, it's super affordable, and it's so delicious. So also I bought this microphone, which probably just made a loud noise when I touched it, but people were saying they were having a hard time hearing me and that the sound was going up and down. I had some people help me out with my phone, which is what I'm filming on, and they said that there's like a problem with the microphone. I think I fixed it on the phone, but just in case, I figured the microphone will make it better. But anyway, let's get started with this mini Big Mac recipe. The first thing you need to get are some dinner rolls. These are a little bit bigger than the typical Hawaiian dinner rolls. This is by a brand called Aunt Millie's. There's 12 of these. Today I'll be making half. So the recipe that I'm talking about here is halved, but if you go to the blog and look at the recipe, it's going to be for 12 of these little mini Big Macs. So you also need to get some hamburger dill pickles, the little slices. I've got some shredded lettuce here left over from another recipe. You need Thousand Island dressing. I've got some minced onion. I'm going to use one small yellow onion. You need butter. You need garlic, salt, and pepper. You need some sesame seeds. I've got 1 pound of this grass-fed Angus ground beef that I got from Aldi. You want a leaner meat for this one. And then I've got a bunch of Kraft singles. So I'm going to show you guys how. First we're going to mix up the meat. We're going to press it into a baking dish and bake that off. And then we're just going to assemble the buns. It's super simple. I forgot to mention that you also need 1 egg for this. So in my bowl, I'm just going to season up the meat. I hate to do measurements because everybody's preference is their own. So you figure you want to just do about a teaspoon of the garlic salt. You want to use about a tablespoon of these minced onions. And then I do about a teaspoon of black pepper. And then we're going to whisk the egg and put all the meat and seasoning combined. And then over here I have just one of my little teeny tiny cookie sheets. And you don't want to over mix the meat because that makes it kind of have like a weird texture. And you have to remember that this meat is going to shrink when it cooks. But you want to spread the meat out in a rectangular size that's going to fit the 6 buns that you have here. So like if you picture those 6 buns lined up side by side, 3 and 3, you want to make sure that you have a meat patty that would just sit right on top of those buns. And you'll see what I mean by that later. So I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to kind of push this meat together. And I've got my oven preheating to 350. Here, I've formed the meat. And you want to kind of make sure, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to kind of make sure that it's the same thickness all around so that it cooks evenly. And then we love the onion flavor. So again, this is just a preference thing. As you make this, you can kind of adjust the seasoning to your choice, but I like to put a little shake of the minced onion on top of this before I bake it. And then I'm going to stick it in the oven for about 12 minutes. Every oven is different. You just want to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. And remember, there is going to be shrinkage on this. So you want to make it a little bit bigger than the buns that we're going to be putting it on. I would say that it shrinks almost like an inch, like all around. So I'll show you when it comes out. It's still preheating, that hasn't gone in yet. But this is half of those dinner rolls. So they're more of like a 3 or 4 bite dinner roll than a 2 bite. So I've just cut them down the center like this, and that's why I have the meat in this shape, because when that meat is cooked, I'm just gonna place that on top of here. And then I've got 6 slices of Kraft Singles. I've got my minced onion, my lettuce, my Thousand Island here, and my pickle chips. And then I also have some butter that I'm gonna melt. And then I've got some roasted sesame seeds for the tops of the bun. So the oven's ready. I'm gonna pop this guy right into the oven, and I'm gonna check on him in about 12 minutes. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this Thousand Island dressing, and I'm going to spread it all over these buns. So I just pour a little bit on there. Again, this could be to your preference. I would say this is about 2 tablespoons, but again, I'm eyeballing it. So you just want to kind of get it to all the edges, like so. Spread that all over. Spread it. Might need a little bit more, but otherwise you get the picture. You just want to get it like that. Pulled the meat from the oven. It's done. It's cooked fully. So I am going to take it from the pan, and I'm going to put it right on top of the bread that I have prepared here. I use a leaner beef, the 85% or the 90, so there's not a ton of grease. But if you want to take a paper towel, you can kind of blot the top of it a little bit, and you can blot the bottom of it if you want to just take off any grease that you see. So you can just go ahead and do that. This one isn't too greasy. In the bun back on it, and I'm going to go ahead and top it with more of the Thousand Island dressing, and I'm going to spread it around just like I did on the bottom of it. And then I am going to top all of this with cheese and pop it back in the oven just for a couple minutes until that cheese melts. Whole top covered here in cheese. It's going back into the oven for a couple minutes just until that cheese melts, and this cheese melts quick, so keep an eye on it. And then we'll top it. The recipe as it's written, you'll make 2 of these, so you could just fit them both on this pan, and then the rest is simple. You just top it with onion. I like to mince mine. Some of these chunks are a little bit bigger than I would prefer. So yep, you're just gonna cover that with onion. Like I said, we love a lot of onion, so you can go ahead and add as little or as much as you want. The next thing we're gonna do is top it with pickles. And you don't have to be too meticulous with this part if you don't want to be. We like a lot of pickles as well. So I just kind of go ahead and cover it. If you want to do more pickles than this, you can. And then I do shredded lettuce on top. Like that. And then the very last thing you want to do is you want to put your buns on top. And let's just knock my knife down. And you're going to get some melted butter, and you're going to brush the tops with the melted butter like that. Excuse my breathing. Like, I'm not heavy breathing. It's just this microphone is pretty, picks up everything. So you're going to brush the tops with the melted butter. You can add a little bit of garlic powder to that butter if you want. And then you're going to just sprinkle sesame seeds. I did not invent this recipe. This is a recipe that is all over the internet. I've been making these for years. They're always a favorite at parties. They're just simple and delicious. And I like to use these bigger buns because this way people just tend to take like one. When you use those smaller ones, I feel like people eat more. So I would say that if you are making the whole batch for 12, that it would be enough for 10 people, because there's always someone that's going to take 2. But this is a great appetizer or dinner, fun dinner. I'm going to cut into these and show you guys. You guys, these are the best. I guess they're not really that mini, but it is a fun way to make Big Macs for a crowd. I mean, they are minier than a regular Big Mac, but That's it. If you guys enjoyed seeing this recipe, give it a thumbs up. If you like watching my videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and you can get all my recipes at thetipsyhousewife.org or on Instagram at thetipsyhousewife or on Facebook at tipsywife. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.